bills all day, well, since yesterday, so I'm just gonna read today. So.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes, bienvenidos a ¿Qué pasa, mujer? Hoy tenemos un tema muy especial, estamos hablando de las Navidades y de los días festivos. Entonces, hoy vamos a estar con Nicté y Mary. Vamos a hablar un poquito de cómo estuvo la semana. Vamos a hablar de las tradiciones que tenemos durante los días festivos. En un momento vamos a tener a Nicté y Mary. Hoy no tenemos invitados. Oh, pero mira, ahí está Nicté con sus colores de sus lentes, gafas de colores. Me encanta, se ve muy vibrant.
Thank you. I am obsessed. I have this and then I have this, which is like the iridescent version. So I could be festive.
You should have your own TikTok channel and start getting paid for advertising.
I know, I should, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually doing some stuff on my YouTube channel again, finally. So there's going to be a lot of these and I'll reach out to them for sponsorship.
Of course, yeah. And look at Maddie, she's not on her bed.
How are you feeling?
I'm not. I'm sitting down today.
Yay.
Hi, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you, mujeres?
We're doing good, doing life. Tell me about your week.
Life is lifing.
Yes. Tell us about your week, Maddie.
I guess, I had a better week, definitely, because I was able to get up. Have been struggling, like I said last week, with my sciatica pain, and finally decided to go to the doctor because it was just not getting better. So I tried to do, what everybody was saying, ice, heat, stretch, walk, and it was just not helping. And finally went to the doctor and they put me on steroids. And so we're going to see how, the body responds to that. And then once I'm off of it, it's not completely gone, but it's tolerable. So before I couldn't stand at all. And I would lose my breath because it was so painful, but now I can stand, I can walk, and, I feel the pain, but, I can tolerate it a little bit better, and I can do stuff because I couldn't do anything last week. So I'm thankful for that. What else? Kids are good. My son came back for winter break. So he drove from Tennessee by himself. So I'm so proud of him. So it's his first time driving, long driving like that. So he left by himself and, took him about 8 hours to get there. And he came back in one piece. So gave to him, my daughter is doing much better. She finally got a port installed in her arm, and she has fluids at home. So she has a little machine she walks around with, and she gets to do fluids every day to prevent her from dehydrating. So everybody's doing well for the most part. We're holding on, so very thankful for that. So how about you, ladies?
Good. How about you, Nicté? What's going on the West Coast?
Well, first of all, Maddie, I'm glad that you're starting to feel a little bit better and that your kiddos where your adult children are doing good and that your daughter's doing better. I always forget. I always have to say, because I didn't like it when people call me a kid and I was in my 20s. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not a kid? I'm not in diapers anymore. So I try to be conscious of that. But so I'm glad that you're feeling better, and I hope that you continue to heal. As far as me, it's been hectic, but in a good way. Lots of things going on, from client projects to our own projects to, yeah, just kicking things in a new season. I just got a new camera, which I'm using right now for the live stream. So I've been wanting one for a really long time. And I think that I was making excuses. I've tried to hack my way around to, doing things to just be resourceful how we are. But I think that with the plan that we're doing and we're really trying to push our YouTube channel a lot more, I just needed more of a permanent setup because I kept having to take things off and on, off and on. I'm like, you know what? No, yeah, let's just do something. So I'm excited. And it was so much easier to set up than my old setup. So I am thankful for technology, that things are also a lot more affordable than when, 5 years ago when things were kind of like in the beginning of people starting to do this. So just thankful, trying to be organized and intentional. And
It looks good. You look really clear.
thank you. I know. I'm like super excited. You get the nice little blurred background and yeah. And I think one of the pet peeves that I had that I couldn't figure out how to fix without doing a bunch of workarounds was that my old camera, if the lighting was really bad, even though I have like a light up here, it would make me look like too pale where I would lose my skin color. And I did not like that. So like I would look blue, but pale. I don't know how to explain it. And
Yeah.
it was the
Pero tu
settings. And
silla
now
no
this
está
is,
borrosa. The chair is not blurry.
yeah, which is nice. Like I'm in focus, but I told it to keep my chair in focus because it's part of the show.
I love it. Looks nice. Good, good.
Gracias, gracias. How about you, ladies?
I'm good. I'm thankful for life, to be honest with you. Just just to be able, the same thing as last week, right? To be able to get up in the mornings and do as I choose and make the decisions that I want every day. And when Maddie was talking about her kids, like he drove from Tennessee or whatever, it made me think of I went to visit an old friend today, and their children, one of their sons is 23. So we're just talking or whatever, and then the son left, he stepped out, and then he said, Josiah got married. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And then it just made me think, because I used to tutor him when he was in middle school, so it made me think of like, wow, like he's like this little boy that I knew back in the day, like he's married, like he's a man. And I think sometimes, we miss them being little, but like I was saying today, like I love the fact that my kids are the age that they are, and I love who they're becoming. I think it's pretty awesome. And I agree with you, Nick, that I don't use the word with, the kids, or even when I talk to teenagers, I don't say, the children or the kids. I say, young men or young women or whatever, because, it's a different category. Um, what else? This week was also good. Our grandmother is in the hospital, but she's doing better today. And it just made me think of her sodium was really low. And it just made me think of how important it is to have like well balanced nutrition, let's say in the inside of our body. And then it's also so important for us to be well balanced outside, in reference to emotions, feelings, situations, the different personal, business, all of the relationships that we have, and so how important it is to have balance in our lives. Because if you take it off balance, drastic things could happen. So I had never heard so much, we hear about sugar, we hear about cholesterol, but I didn't know a lot about sodium and how important it is to the body. So it was just it was insightful to kind of hear information. And she's doing better, because I did get scared for a little bit there, but she's doing a lot better today. And it's all about your mental strength, and how we've been able to see family members, just be concerned. And sometimes you talk to a family member and it's positive energy, and sometimes you talk to another one and it's like the end of the world, like, oh my God, kind of like she's gonna die type of conversations. So it's nice to be able to recognize those things. And then I'm also excited because I bought a puzzle for the winter break. So I started working on that this week. So that's my high.
What type of, is it a surprise puzzle? Are you gonna reveal what it is?
I'm gonna
Or
reveal it when I'm done. and it's actually pretty different. I kind of like haven't found the love for it yet. Like I love the image, but it's made out of really like a little like a thick wood. And supposedly you can actually lift it. Like once it's done, you can actually lift it. So I don't even have to glue it. I can lift it and frame it.
Oh,
But the pieces are
wow.
thicker. They're a little bit thicker, and you can cheat because there's letters on the back to guide you. But I'm not using the letters. I'm gonna do it how I always do it.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear how it looks, see how it
It's
looks
super
and hear how it
nice.
goes.
Yeah, super nice. So I'm excited about that. Um, So today we're talking about our Latin traditions during the holidays. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I know in Colombia they do las velitas, which I think they did them 2 or 3 days ago. And I wonder why I don't do them. Like my family, once we came to the States, like I don't ever remember my grandmother or my mom saying, vamos a hacer las velitas. It is really just a day to turn the lights, to get candles, and people drink and eat in the street. So it's
I
just a
did not
party.
know. Oh, I
It's a
know they
street
have that
party.
in the, see, you're enriching me to part of our Colombian heritage porque
Yes.
yo no sabía. But now
Yeah.
it all makes sense because I know they put that in the movies too, like where they had that tradición, where they're all getting together y tenían las velitas.
Yeah.
I thought that they were just, it was a, yeah, wow. Okay, I
Yeah.
learned something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
So interesting. So are you gonna do velitas?
Well, I'm gonna look. I'm late because it was on the 7th or 8th, right? But I was thinking about I could still do it. Like, who cares that it's not the same day? I'll do a better job next year. So I could still do it this year. And then I was even thinking about introducing it to my students from my job. So I could even have velitas there and, tell them and even just teach the word velitas. So I thought about doing so I could spread the culture throughout Hampton Roads. So I thought about that.
I love
Um,
that.
Yeah. I also was thinking about like some people go to la misa. They go because majority of Latinos are Catholic, so they might go to midnight mass as well. I think religion is a big piece. God is a big piece of the holidays that I think sometimes we tend to lose, and we're all about shopping and stuff like that. But I think I don't know, people that I've encountered, I think they're becoming a little bit more conscious of the meaning of Christmas and a little bit less materialistic, even though, the gifts are still kind of maybe a big deal more for the younger kids. Maddie, so can you tell us a little bit about La Misa del Gallo?
So La Misa del Gallo, so okay. So in Dominican Republic, again, we celebrate the 24th. That's kind of when everybody gets together um, and have dinner as a family. So it is celebrated. You do a mass at midnight, like from the 24th to the 25th, and it's called La Misa del Gallo, and it's called that because they say that a rooster made a sound when baby Jesus was born. So they call it La Misa del Gallo. But it's mass at midnight on the 25th.
Oh, so interesting.
I remember we used to do that back home, but I don't remember there being the gallo part. But I do remember my mom used to sometimes take us when we were older to a midnight mass
When you lived where?
in Venezuela.
Because you're like, when we
Yeah,
were back home, I don't know what your home is.
I know. I have many homes.
Like, let's see what home she's talking about. I think also, did you ever do La Novena? Do you guys do the novena, Maddie? La Novena?
Lana, it sounds so familiar.
La
What is it?
Novena is, I think they do like I think it's the rosary is involved in it. And then they kind of go around and they have different prayers that they do. And it's like and then they
Nine
also eat.
days.
Yeah, I think it's the days, yep. And then they eat
Well,
a special type of bread as well durante la novena.
a novena, I mean, that sounds more like what we do for when somebody passes away. Like we have the 9 days. los 9 días, and that's what we do basically. Like there's an hour where you pray and you do the rosary and you go around X amount of times. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen like a
Tipitas.
rosary.
Yeah.
Like the bead means something, and then that's kind of how they keep track of how many times they say what they said and whatever. So we do that when somebody passes away. We have the 9 días, and we do that.
Yeah.
Banana.
We do that in Colombia
Mhm.
too.
El Rosario.
When somebody dies, they
El
just have
rosario.
different prayers, and each beat, they do a different type of prayer or whatever. Because even the beads, again, I'm not an expert at this, but I know my grandmother does it all the time. But like, I don't know, it's how many prayers, and then it's like a bigger bead, and then that's the signal for it. Change the prayer to something
It's
else. So yeah.
repetition. So
Hmm.
a lot of it is repetition. So you repeat the same thing over and over. So the beats kind of tell you how many times to repeat, and then when you get to the end, you switch the prayer and you go to something else. But you repeat a certain amount of times.
Is it football day again, Nikte?
Yes. Hold on. I wanted to do something since we're talking about festivities. I'm going to stop my camera for a second so I can get really festive for you guys.
Oh wow!
She's gonna go.
Oh my goodness! I
Feliz
love it.
Navidad.
I love it.
I did it the other day.
That's
I was
hilarious.
doing this get together. Like we kind of did like a Zoom celebration with the Association of Military Spouses, and everyone was dressing festive, and I totally forgot. So I'm like, all right, let me go grab some of my Christmas tree ornaments. And my son comes up when we're doing that. He's like, "Mommy, why did you go grab the Christmas tree ornaments? They don't put on your ears. Go put them back on the tree."
Oh my god, that's cute.
So yeah, and they're lightweight enough to where I can hold them for a little bit. So
Okay,
thought I
there
would get
you
in the
go.
spirit.
And one's bigger than the other one.
See, yeah,
A propósito.
claro, yeah. What
That's
asymmetric
cool.
design here.
Right. Yeah. So, what are some things, Maddie? I wanted to ask you. What are some things that you were growing up, and some things that maybe you guys did in your family that you continue to do, and then maybe something that you guys used to do that you don't do anymore.
So let's see. I guess I'll respond that question with one thing that we do. So like we started doing angelitos, and I think we talked about that Secret Santa, just because again things have gotten more expensive, to buy everyone a good gift. So instead we do a gift exchange, and then that way we put a budget and everybody gets a nice gift or something that they really wanted. So in DR, it's celebrated a little bit different. So we do the Secret Santa, but it's celebrated over weeks. So it's like, for example, when I was in school growing up, when I was little, it was like every Friday. So every Friday, you would draw a name, like maybe at the beginning of the month, and then every Friday you will bring a little gag gift to your angelito, and then you will put it in a little brown bag, write the person's name on it, and then the teacher would kind of grab the name and read it and give it, and then the person would open their gifts and whatever. And sometimes it was funny, sometimes it was just candy or whatever, but it was always nice because you look forward to like every Friday getting that little gift, and maybe hoping that whatever gifts you got will give you a hint of who got your name. So that was always very exciting, growing up, like expecting that. So we still do the angelito, we just don't do the every week thing. And sometimes, like I wish we would, but I think, again, we're a family. So I think that if we did the weekly thing, we immediately would know who's got hood. So it would not be a surprise, to the end. But that was always fun. So like the Secret Santa with a little weekly gag gifts was always nice.
What about you, Nick? There, what's something that you think you do that it's like tradition from when you were little? Because I don't
It's
remember
hard.
anything, to be honest with you. All I
Yeah, I
remember is staying up till midnight and opening
But
presents.
these are for the Christmas tree.
think.
Oh, you messed up the Christmas tree. Mommy messed up the Christmas tree. Look, he's not feeling that.
No, he's not a fan.
That's good.
Oh my gosh, that is totally. It's because he helped me put up the tree. Like I just let him put them wherever he wanted to. So I think that's because I'm messing up his work of art.
This project,
That
yeah.
yeah, he was not happy with my
And
my
he didn't
performance.
even ask.
No, he just
He's like,
helped himself.
I
He
love
was
that.
gentle though.
Yeah.
I love the question because I think there's just so many traditions that I remember as a kid, but that we are not really. I just think because now Asielito's getting a little bit older that we can actually start to do some of these traditions. But I remember, and my husband actually remember that I told him that in Venezuela, usually people say here Santa will bring you gifts, but in Venezuela they would say Niñito Dios or Niñito Jesús. So baby Jesus would bring you the gifts. And then I loved because I have multicultural. I love that I also celebrated the Mexican side where we have in January Dia de los Magos, de los Reyes Magos, so you get presents again. So we haven't done that yet with our son. Just I know once he starts getting a little bit more aware of that, I think that was a nice tradition. One of the things that we started doing is that in school they kind of have like the elf on the shelf, and he was saying, "Mom, I want an elf on a shelf, elf on a shelf." I'm like, okay, well, I have no idea how the tradition like works. And then I was starting to hear that like the idea of it's like he's watching you at your every step or something like that. But I was like, I want to do a different take on it. So this elf on a shelf is very curious. I don't want to spill he's walking around. But like I'll write little positive notes for him, like, oh, you're amazing. I hope you have an amazing day. I hear you like to read. Can you read us something that's a little bit more of a positive spin on it? And, kind of doing little goofy things here and there. I saw someone post a video where the elf on the shelf made a disaster in the baño and it was just chocolate that they used. That's my type of humor, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to that extent because then I have to clean it up. So
Yeah,
but
that's what I was thinking.
yeah, it's but it's fun. I'm all about finding traditions that work for us and kind of like making it our own tradition within those traditions. And I thought it was really cute that he asked for one, so he's kind of excited to see where he ends up. We just started it, was it like 2-3 days ago, so it hasn't been that long.
Do you do
So
that, Maddie? Do you do the elf on the shelf?
No, I never got into it. I mean, I didn't hear it until the kids were much older. So, it's funnier and nicer when your kids are smaller. But my niece, she does it with her daughter. Her daughter is 4 now, and they've been doing it since she was like 2. So like for the last 2 years, she looks forward to it. And the elf has a name, so I think it's Sabi is her name, and it's a she. So it's Sabi, and Sabi comes out in December. And I guess when Sabi came out like a couple of weeks ago, or at the beginning of the month, she she woke up and she was sitting on top of her toothpaste tube like this. Like kind of like, hello, good morning, I'm back, and she always posts the funny videos. And like last year she posted, they painted she painted the baby's face, and then, woke up and Sabby had, like was dirty with paint, and had a crayon in her hands. So she looked at herself in the mirror and woke up and said, look what Sabby did, and she was like, oh my God, how could she do this to me? And, but yeah, they're always hilarious. So I love seeing it. And every time I see the video ideas, I always, send them to her. I'm like, look, another one, maybe you can incorporate this one. So yeah, but I think it's always a lot of fun. So it's something different.
I love that. That is so cute. Yeah, it's that la carita que tienen, de felicidad, or like the curiosity. Sí, eso, inocencia. Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Because that's what Christmas is all about. If you think about it, it's like, okay, we believe in Santa Claus is bringing presents, or Niño Jesús, whichever one it is. So it's about that innocence and that belief, and so I think that's what the elf on the shelf kind of brings, a little bit of that innocence back in.
I love that. Yeah, it really does. It's that beautiful spirit of just thinking of positive things. I think too, like Viviana, when you're talking about grandma, I think it's like one of those things I always try to think positively when, she's not feeling well, trying to make her laugh, doing all, these things to bring that positivity. And I know when he was asking me when Santa's coming. So he wanted to put that on the calendar. So I was like, okay, I put that on the calendar. And he's like, is he going to come down our chimney? I'm like, we don't have a chimney. And he keeps saying, but does he come down the chimney? I'm like,
in the 25th, is Santa gonna bring you guys presents?
Yes,
I
I'm gonna
hope
get
so.
lots of presents.
Presents?
yes,
I've been behaving, so hopefully I'll get some.
He said on the 25th.
Yeah, sabe, he's counting.
Oh, he
Yeah,
knows.
he's counting. He's counting
That's
down the
cool.
days. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
so
never we thought about doing that at the office with the kids, but my brain starts to like think about crazy things. So like I want to hang him from the ceiling, or I also thought about putting like one of the kids' picture on it instead of the actual elf. So we may still do it.
I love that idea. Oh my gosh, that would be so cute.
Yeah. So yeah. So but yeah, I don't know if just my day goes by so freaking quick. Like I'm like, oh my God, it's Friday again. Y como que no, I couldn't make it happen. It's crazy. It gets busy. But I do have a friend, she's Mexican and she's making tamales. So good. Like tamales
Yeah.
mexicanos.
Oh my gosh, but that's a lot of work. That's like with the ayacas, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
so good. Mm.
So
I do
I'm
know my
actually
mom makes
thinking about,
pozole actually.
well, so oh she does? Mm.
Yes.
So I think because I'm gonna be off for 2 weeks from school. Well, I'm still gonna be working a little bit, but I'm really gonna be a little bit more intentional because my older son is starting to become more of a foodie. Like he cooked last night and it came out pretty good. Joel, my youngest one, he loves like we always drink eggnog. So whenever he's here, we drink eggnog. I put a little bit of something in mine, but he doesn't. But that's our tradition
Make
between
some
him and I.
coquito.
Yeah, so I thought about making a coquito. I thought about making buñuelos. I always make empanadas, and I think I want to like look into like do something else from like some other culture, like maybe not Latino, like maybe somewhere like African or Indian or something. Like I've been following different TikTokers of like different cultures to see like other so I could try other things, you know? Because I love like my favorite type of restaurant is like a tapas restaurant because I like to try little things and I notice that I like to cook that way too. I like to try like different things. So I'm gonna do that. And you know those trays like the vegetable trays or the food trays, right? So I have one that is like really pretty and orange. And during Thanksgiving break, when we were eating, we actually put like a big portion on each separated or whatever. So we just put that in the middle of the table and everybody scooped from there. And it was kind of cool. So I'm thinking about doing maybe like a setup like that.
I was thinking when you were talking about traditions for other cultures, I was gonna say I would love, I think it's African countries that eat with their hands. That they
Mm.
put the food on the, on the middle of the table, and then you just kind of scoop and put it on your, like maybe either with bread or something, and then you just scoop like that, and then that's how you eat. Like I
Yeah.
was thinking about that, but then again, I have nails, so I don't know how I don't know
Family
how I would
style.
feel about that.
Yeah, but it
Vas
would
a
be a
quedar con
family
el
style type of because I know a lot Indians they even just like sit on the floor and they eat everything with their version of what we call tortillas. Um, yeah, but that's my goal. My last day of work is the 15th. So after I'm gonna look up like recipes and stuff like that, and then I'm just gonna make a whole bunch of stuff and just try it. And I'm gonna make my kids cook some of it too. Like I'm gonna give them choices like find something online that you want to cook to contribute to the diversity.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's such a great way to explore and kind of encourage them to to cook at an early age so that when they
Yeah.
are off on their own, it's like natural. No se quedan como que
Yeah.
all I know is how to do
Yeah.
is microwave stuff.
Joel
So
loves it
I
because it
love
comes easy to him. But yeah, but it's
that.
nice to, yeah. Even when he was little, like the way he even grabs the utensils, like the knife and everything, he's
Awesome.
always been like very confident.
Oh, that is
Mhm.
awesome.
And I was
Yeah.
gonna say, food is one of those things that that make great traditions, because it's like, even though we all may cook the same thing, it's we everybody has their own style, so, and everybody brings like their own thing, when they're cooking. Like, for example, my friend sent me the other day, somebody was cooking rice, and they it was like, of course, in a metal pan, and then they had a metal spoon, and then they were like moving it, stirring it, and then hitting it really hard on the pan, and they were like Hispanics for no reason, like cooking rice, stirring it and hitting the pan. And I was like, I do that, yes, that's me.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just see like little things, and like we all do, we try to get the same result, but everybody gets there in a different way. So it's always nice. Sometimes you ask people, why do you do that when you're cooking this and you do that way? And you're like, I don't know, my mom used to do it like that. So
Hmm.
it's always
Yeah.
nice to build those traditions of like cooking together, making things happen, and you'll be surprised the little things that get passed down.
Hmm. Yeah. And Enrique said, yeah, the naan bread. It's like,
Mhm.
I love it. I love Indian cuisine. Oh, it's so delicious. I love it.
Too
So, Maddie,
spicy for me.
I love it. I don't like spicy. I just say, you know how they have the numbers like 1 through 5? I'm always like at a 2. So, so Maddie, do your kids help you in the kitchen at all, or you do it all?
Um, I'm a little OCD, It's like I like things to look a certain way when I do them, and sometimes like I'm guilty, like I'm that mom that asks you to clean and then goes behind you and cleans again. Like that's me. So but I'm trying to be better, like, and I know my son Misao, he does, kind of like dabbles in the kitchen and stuff like that, and so I'll let him make the salads, and I'll let him do like his own thing, so I'm trying to get better at that, and like you said, like make him feel confident, when he's doing something that that he did it well. So, but he's out of the three, not even my daughter never really like the kitchen. So like sometimes I'm surprised, like she knows how to make stuff. I'm like, how? Because she was never in the kitchen with me, but the boys will cook more. And then Misal, again, he did take the course in high school where they teach you, how to cook a little bit or whatever. So yeah, he's like, oh mom, I peeled a cucumber today. I'm like, yeah.
Nika, do you enjoy cooking? Do you make extra special stuff during the holidays, or
I
does your
try
husband?
to, but I think my husband must have gotten a chef gene that he didn't even know he had. He is the person that he'll just know exactly what to put together and it tastes so good. He just has that done. And so like if we were in a cooking competition, he'd like blow me out of the water because he just is just really good at that. So I have my husband says you have your winning recipes and you have your other recipes that are kind of like so I've learned, okay, this one doesn't work. All right, es cuando invento mucho, it doesn't work out for me. So I just don't have that gift of the sazon. So when I know it works and it has good flavor, yes, I'll do that. But ayacas, I guess because we made them for so long, that's definitely something that I feel pretty confident in. But it's really nice because my husband got in on the tradition, and so we found a way to, instead of making it a 3-day process, we kind of cheated the system and made it into like a day and a half worth of work. And so we kind of do those things. I make my mom tends to make ensalada de gallina. I don't get a gallina. I just use a regular pollo. So I'll make that, but it tastes so much better from ensalada de gallina because it just has a different taste to it. So that's one of the things that is from Venezuela. I don't know if they do it in Colombia, But
I have no idea. I left Colombia when I was like 4, and then I lived in Mexico from 4 till I was 9. But to be honest with you, I don't remember any traditions from anywhere.
yeah,
Just
they
the
blur
midnight
after a while.
thing. Yeah. I
Mhm.
blame my mom and my grandmother for that. They should have instilled
Te oyen.
better. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
That's
Hi,
our
Mark.
producer. He likes
Hey
to
there,
speak.
y'all are making me hungry, and I'm sitting here
I think
preparing
he
for
just
this
wanted to
talent
show
show.
us.
Y'all can see that I'm in a suit and everything, so I'm actually in a suit getting ready for this talent show, and y'all are making me hungry. So I just thought I'd pop in and say hello before getting ready to do this talent show in Reedsville, North Carolina, of all places. But getting ready to do a talent show, and as I was telling Viviana, we're in the middle over here by Greensboro, so I've got comedians, dancers, and everybody else. So y'all can see that I can throw on a suit every once in a while. So as you can see, there's a suit on in the background, and all along those lines.
Well, I'm glad you made an appearance, Mark. Sorry we're making you hungry. I'm hungry
Yeah.
too, so it's kind of lunchtime, past lunchtime for me.
Understood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to pop out. Like I was telling Viviana, might not be as many commercials as usual since I'm on location this time, but I was thoroughly enjoying y'all's conversation about food and everything. So I just wanted to pop in and also say you ladies are doing amazing. The network has been telling me y'all are doing amazing and they're really enjoying this show as well. So I'm going to actually be meeting with them, I think, next week again. So y'all are definitely getting some notice from the network heads and all along those lines. So we're going to see if we can maybe even have them come up to Virginia since they're both in North Carolina and all along those lines. So maybe we'll get Nick and Kim to make a road trip one of these times soon. And I've got to get the Road to Apollo, which has nothing to do with that, but y'all see me run the commercial even on y'all show in to bring it up to Virginia because they've done them in all over North Carolina, but we haven't come to Virginia yet. I think the closest was Henderson, but Henderson, North Carolina. So we might have
We'll be
to find some
waiting.
talent up there in Virginia.
Thank you, Mark.
Definitely.
Nice.
We'll be waiting.
Yay!
No
Super
problem. So I'm gonna pop
exciting.
off
Gonna
and
have to
everything.
fly
Just
you in.
I know.
Yeah, it'll be a
You better
business
get that
write-off
passport
next
ready,
year.
Nick.
I know, right?
To come to Virginia.
It's so polar
Oh my
opposites.
God.
I'll get ready to be back in the future.
Oh my God.
Oh
Hola,
my
Enrique.
goodness.
We want to say hola to. We want to
Hola,
say
Enrique.
hola to Enrique and everybody else that's watching us and sharing us and liking us and loving
Sí.
us. We
Sí.
love it. We love what we do.
Yes. And anyone who's
Um,
watching us, share your traditions too, because we've been sitting here talking about ours and we'd love to
mhm.
hear everyone else's traditions because we
We've
can be
talked
from the
about
same
how we don't
country.
have any,
And
or we haven't
yeah,
applied any of them. But we're gonna do better next year.
yes, yes. Goals,
We're gonna do better.
goals, goals,
Yeah.
So,
goals.
ladies, is there any foods that you guys look for? I know we talked about making certain things, but is there anything that you eat mainly during the holiday season that you look forward to eating? Like, is there like that flavor palette that you look forward to? Because, like, I know for me, like we do cook rice and beans and things like that and more or whatever. Like we have like our traditional food, but we do that for Thanksgiving, we do that for Christmas, we do that. But is there something specific that you only do around the Christmas holiday season that you look forward to eating?
I love the
Yes.
coquito,
I
even though there's not Colombian, but I love the coquito. And I love buñuelos and empanadas and tamales.
I love it.
What about
I
you,
would
Nite?
say if I had two, ayacas for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Ayacas all the time. And then also pozole. Oh my gosh. I love pozole. But that is so laborious. Laborious? It's so much work que I would much rather eat it than make it
Yeah, you
myself.
can find somebody that makes it. Like I know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's like Facebook groups, and there's a couple of ladies that I know, and they're like local to me. So one of them,
Mhm.
she's Salvadorian. So if I ever feel like eating pupusas, I'll call her,
Pupusas.
and then she'll make them because she sells them. So if I tell
Mhm.
her I want something, so then she'll like say, "Oh, I'm making pupusas this week," or whatever. Or I'm sure other people call her.
I
Yeah,
love that.
I guess
Yeah, there's a local restaurant here that we we went to. It's called La Vecindad, and it's actually built from El Chavo del Ocho. Do y'all remember, Viviana? I'm sure you remember. You remember it? Yeah, and it's really cool. Like they built the whole inside of it like if it was the actual show, and all the waiters and waitresses were dressed. They were actually dressed as Chapulín Colorado, and it was just really cool. And the food was so good. It was definitely in a little sketchy side of town here, but the food was so good. So they had some caldos, and yeah, I'm gonna see if they have pozole because I might be like just póngame 5 litros de pozole and I'll just take it home to eat later.
Oh my God, that would be good. The other day I saw a TikTok of somebody showing us how to make horchata. So I was thinking about making that too. Because I know I could go to the Mexican restaurant and get it, but it looked cool that I can make it. So I'm thinking about doing that. So in Colombia, they'll eat buñuelos
Arroz.
with avena. But the avena that they make in Colombia is like the bomb.com. Like, ooh, so good.
Yeah.
I know that we
I was
make
gonna say, we have our version of avena too, and but it's liquid. It's like not
Yes.
like not heavy like they do it here.
Yes.
So it's kind of like liquid, and I grew up making that for my kids as a drink. Like kind of like you
Yes.
do hot chocolate. We will make like liquid avena, and like
That's true.
it didn't have any bumps or anything like that. It was like very smooth, and it was a drink. So yeah, so we do that with the avena.
Yeah, like in Colombia at the bakeries, they have like a huge barrel and they just scoop out of it. Oh, so good. And it's so good either hot or cold.
Yeah. In New York, it's the same thing. You go to any restaurant in New York in the morning and you ask for just like you will ask for a cup of coffee, you ask for a cup of avena with toast. And, and that's what you get.
I know
Have you
in
ladies
Mexico they
ever
have
considered like going out to eat instead of cooking?
we've done that. But
I guess
depends
go ahead.
where. I think I have a lag, sorry. I think that it just depends where and how we're feeling. If we've just been super exhausted and we kind of just want to go from a place we know has good food that would kind of feel like that. We've done that before, but it's not often that we do it.
I knew Maddie was
I
going to
guess
say
for
no.
us, because no, it's too many of us. That's what I was gonna say. It's just too many of us, and when we get together, it's like you're talking about, I don't know, 15, 20 people, and then unless you have like a reservation or a big restaurant or somebody, and again, yes, a lot of money is expensive, so yes, I know we like holidays, we stay in and we cook. I mean, like we got a bunch of women in our immediate, like my sister-in-law, so she's a great cook, and her husband is an amazing cook. So whenever they cook, sometimes we ask for him to cook and not her. And then of course my mother-in-law, she's she grew up cooking traditionally, so it's like, yes, you make the beans, and like there's just something about somebody that knows how to cook good beans and things like that. So she's always in charge of that. And then they have their aunt that she's always worked in restaurants, and she's a professional baker, so she makes Dominican cakes, and she cooks delicious food. So with her, it's like we never tell her, like with everybody we always assign a dish, like you bring this and whatever else you want to bring, you bring this and whatever else you want. With her, it's like just bring something, and whatever she brings, we know it's amazing, because she's that
good.
She's that good of a cook. So yeah,
it's always good to have a friend that can cook.
I'm getting really hungry, y'all. Ya estoy como que se me está haciendo agua la boca. No,
yeah, Maddie, I have a question, and then we could start on your poem. Do you make mango a lot?
It's so funny you say that, because that's like my husband's favorite. So when the boys are home, like he's like, oh, the boys want to eat mango, we want mango, and my boys are like, we don't want mango. So I mean, they'll eat it, like they eat it if exactly he wants it. So but yeah, so they know that when dad is home and dad wakes up first, we're having mango for breakfast. They know that all the time. But we do, I mean, like when we're together, we try to make mango, and then so we make mango con los tres golpes, we call it. So los tres golpes son salami frito, huevo frito, y queso frito, and then the mango with cebolla on top, with like the
Oh,
pickled
I need
onions
that
on top.
recipe.
I
That's
think I need to
mango
see it
con
to
los,
believe it.
Yeah.
I need to see
yeah,
it to believe it, Maddie. I don't
and
think
a
this
good
exists.
I'll show you a picture, Nick. Yeah, I was gonna
Stop.
say, Viviana, if you're mashing your plantains, your trick to mashing your plantains is to mash them with ice. Instead of like, because a lot of people, what they do is they boil them and mash it with the same water. You can do that, but you have to eat it right away, because if you let it sit, it gets hard. But if you drain the hot water out and then put ice cubes in it and mash it, and like let it mash with like the cold water or milk, or even cold milk, it makes them stay soft longer.
Yeah, my grandmother makes it at least once a week and it's delicious. But I don't think that I've ever eaten it from a Dominican person like yourself. Like she got it from her best friend. She got the recipe from her best friend. But I really want to try, especially I never heard the tres golpes. Yeah, I'm gonna need
Oh
that
yeah.
recipe.
Yes. And you can either add longaniza too. I don't know if you ever had Dominican longaniza. It's like a sausage, and literally all you do is you chop it in little pieces. It's like very thin sausage, and then you chop it in little pieces and you boil it, and um it secretes its own oil, and then once the water like simmers down, it fries in its own oil. It's amazing. So
And then
longaniza,
you can eat it with
salami.
aguacate.
Oh, yes, you put aguacate on it, of course. Everything tastes better with aguacate.
Yeah. Do you guys eat morcilla?
We do morcilla too. Morcilla, it's more like a fritura kind of thing, the morcilla. So like if you go out in the streets, like and in New York we have like tons of, listen, this is like right up my husband's alley. Like every time we go to New York, the first thing he knows, because we have like the trucks parked outside in the streets, and they always have the fritura going. So like they have like the ears and the tongue, and and the batata, and
Everything.
tostones, and everything that
Yeah.
exactly everything that you can fry and season, they'll fry it and season and sell it there. So he always goes, and he's like, I want a $20 plate, and the $20 plate, they throw a little bit of everything in there. So he's like, I want to go to New York just to get a $20 plate. Like that's always the joke. So
Oh,
yes, and
goodness.
morcilla is usually included in all of that.
You should
Maddie, you were
surprise him one
talking
day
about,
and just make it for him when the kids aren't home.
yeah.
Not me.
Maddie, as you were talking about the whole frituras, I remember this time where my grandma and my grandma was visiting us, and they were talking about lengua, and I'm like, I can't. If I make eye contact or I see it, like I can't. And so then un día, like my grandma cooked something, and I was like, "Uy, abuelita, esta carne está bien rica y está suavecita." Sí, mija. They waited until I finished and cleaned out the plate to tell me that was lengua.
Yeah. It's delicious, but
like,
once you see it,
yeah,
like I was
yeah,
traumatized. Like I won't eat it.
yeah, I can't.
What about
I'm
pig's
very
feet?
visual.
I saw the
Do you guys
taste buds
eat
and
pig's feet?
everything on it. What?
Pig's feet?
I've had it before, but I don't do it anymore. Once I realized what it was, once I became an adult and became knowledgeable of all this stuff, I don't. Even the morcilla, I don't eat it anymore.
Because the pig's feet is amazing.
Yeah.
No, y si
Pig's
tienen
feet.
callos y todas esas cosas, no te...
For extra flavor.
No, gracias.
Oh my god. All right, Maddie, we're ready for your poem.
What a great transition. We talk about gallos and now sorry, Maddie.
Oh, and you're gonna love this even more. So my poem today is gonna be religious.
Oh. We're all
Let's
over the
bring
place
God
here,
into this.
guys. I love it.
Because you all need Jesus. We all need Jesus. No.
Yes. Baby Jesus.
No, so just thinking about tradition, like Viviana said at the beginning of the show, religion is very important. We do come from mainly Catholic countries, and the Catholic tradition, it's very strong where we come from. So I think sometimes, we always begin our show with being thankful. So I remember writing this poem, just being thankful, to God, just kind of remembering that sometimes, we struggle and we go through things, but, even when we don't think He's there with us, He is there. Y también este poema es completamente en español. No creo que nunca había leído un poema en español completamente. So, para nuestra gente de habla hispana, muchas gracias y gracias por escucharnos. Y este poema se llama Gracias. Son las lecciones que he aprendido en los momentos de adversidad, que aunque me siento dudar, eres el constante en mi vida y Dios vivo siempre será energía. En ti he encontrado paz. Eres la estrella que me guía e ilumina mi andar. Aunque en momentos difíciles mi instinto humano me empuja a dudar, a sentirme con derechos de poderte reclamar, el salmista me recuerda que eres mi roca y en ti debo confiar. Que cuando el mundo me derrota y se derrumba sobre mí, para ti nada es imposible y todo lo puedo en ti. Recuerdo el primer versículo que de niña aprendí y aunque recitaba con ojos cerrados, nunca en verdad comprendí. Hoy cierro los ojos y mi alma se unge en su significado, pues Romano 1 nos dice, justificados pues por la fe tenemos paz para con Dios por medio de Jesucristo. Para Él sea la gloria y sobre nosotros su bendición. Que mi fe sea como un grano de mostaza que en el jardín de tu amor floreció, como cada pequeño de la Biblia que al enemigo sorprendió. Así como Salomón fue sabio, para Daniel soñó la solución, como Jonás fue salvado de la bestia y como David al gigante venció. Que tu amor sea mi regalo y el alimento de mi vida, que tu presencia me acompañe por el resto de mis días.
Wow, Maddie. Te quedó y es lo mismo for those of you guys that can't hear her, like how she says in English and Spanish, it just flows with the emotion en la misma manera. And muchísimas gracias, Mari. That was beautiful.
Yes.
Gracias.
I love it. It's like every week you do something. Like you have done so many poems, right? So many poems with us.
For
and
over a
still feels
year.
fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Mil gracias, Mari.
Yes. So I hope you ladies have an amazing, wonderful week this week. I think, what do we have? Like 3 weeks left of this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Una, dos,
Can you
tres,
believe
right?
it? Yeah.
And then it will
Se
be
fue volando.
2024. Yeah,
24, like
year.
my
So,
age.
yes.
Right?
24
so
with 24 years of experience.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I think I told you guys that I'm like forever 40. Like every time somebody asks me, I'm going to be 40 for the rest of my life. Yeah.
I love
Ahí
that.
paró. Yes. So Nicte, I hope that you continue to be productive with your business and your personal ventures that you have going on. And Maddie, I hope that health is at the pivotal point of your household and that everybody's healthy and everybody makes, that you guys are covered and healthy pretty much. And I just hope that you guys are productive and continue to do as you do every week and be healthy, be mentally healthy.
Amen.
Thank you, Mark, and I will see you guys. Yes, next Sunday at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. Todos los domingos a las 4 de la tarde.
O la una, if you're on my side of the town.
A la 1 en Las Vegas y a las 4 en Hampton, Nueva York. Every Sunday. Thank you, Mark, as well, and we want to thank you. For doing this for us every week, and Pod TV on Roku.
Gracias.
And I know Mark is at the fashion show. I think, what was it, the fashion show?
Talent show.
Talent show? And you were
I think
supposed to go to some poetry thing, weren't you, Maddie? The
No, it's
women,
this Friday. So the women competition is this Friday coming up. So don't forget the 15th. Viviana, be there. 6:30. Oh, doors open at 6:30. So come. It's gonna be fire.
I met somebody recently that wants to do poetry, and I was telling them I met someone and they knew you.
Okay.
Who was it? I don't even remember who it was. But we were talking, and anytime I hear poetry, it's like Maddie, and Maddie's my friend, and he was like, "Oh, I know Maddie." And I forgot, it was a younger, like, white man. Oh my God, my brain. No me acuerdo dónde.
Okay.
But he knew you. Yeah.
It's
So
always
Miss, and she's my friend.
I did compete this past week. So I competed on Wednesday and I won our qualifier. And then I competed on Friday and I got second place in a qualifier in Williamsburg. So I'm gonna be doing a competition in Williamsburg in February. So I'm really excited.
Felicidades! That's awesome.
I gotta make an appearance because I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, Friday's gonna be crazy. I mean, we have 10 women right now signed up, very talented, all of them very talented. So it's gonna be tough competition. So, and whoever wins is gonna represent us in Women of the World. So, yeah,
you're gonna do amazing.
Thank you.
As always. And so the camera that you bought, like, is it just a regular recording camera or like?
It's called a Sony A600, and it's kind of like a camera that I guess a lot of people use for, like, not just they'll convert it to use it for like as their webcam, but they'll actually use it to record videos for YouTube and all that stuff. And since I've been doing courses too, I'm trying to now have my more of a permanent setup, because I had another old camera that was kind of like my regular DSLR, and I had to do kind of like a lot of workarounds to make it work, which wasn't great, but it más grande and it would always block. So it's a nice, more compact one. And I had one of my friends, she told me exactly her setup because I loved it. And she told me, this is what I got. This is what I got. I'm like, great. Thank you for saving me countless hours of searching. And I went ahead and I got it. And I knew this was a good camera. I just kept avoiding it. You know, when you kind of like make excuses. No, me voy a ahorrar el dinero.
Está muy
I keep
cara.
hacking the system.
But once you have it, it's like, why didn't I do this 3 years ago?
Yeah. And I'm like,
It
now
looks
I don't have
awesome.
excuses. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. And it was so easy to set up. I'm like, please don't let it be complicated. Please don't let it be complicated. And then I was like, oh, sweet. So yeah.
So we were your guinea pigs again? Because we were your guinea pigs for something else before.
Hey, what was it?
Was it the light?
Maybe it was a light. I think so. Success.
Yeah.
We'd have little confetti poppers.
Oh my God. You know, the other day, it's so funny your son popped up, because the other day I was thinking about how I love it when he does that, because it's so like natural.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's really cute because he knows, like, okay, Mom, are you done with your meeting? Are you done with your? So he calls, like, every time I'm doing something, it's meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then he'll come and say, hi guys, for any, he's done that with clients too. And it's nice that I think the one little silver lining of the pandemic is that people became more humanized in that sense, like that was okay if your kiddos were coming up and saying hi, because I've been remote since 2011, and back then it was like, uy, que falta de profesionalismo, if that would happen. And I'm glad that's one of the things that changed our situation.
Yeah, because a lot of things happened during COVID, and Zoom calls and embarrassing things in the backgrounds.
We talk about all kind of tradition, guys, but we never talked about music. Do you guys listen to particular music during the holidays?
I listen to Colombian. I listen to vallenatos.
Okay.
More.
Christmas vallenatos or just vallenatos in general?
Vallenatos.
Okay. Because we do have like a lot of merengues that are like staple for Christmas merengues, you know? So I mean, you know, merengue you listen all year round, but there's certain merengues, like old-fashioned merengues that are like your old merengues, you know?
Yeah. We have that. I always think about that. Con mi burrito sabanero.
Oh, yeah. That's a
It's all playing for us, yeah.
And they have the satire on TikTok, so the tuki 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 tuki.
Yes. That one. All right, ladies. So I think Mark is he's back on. So again, have a wonderful week, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Gracias igual. Bye. Ciao.
Are you ready? We're talking about the much-anticipated Road to New York National Talent Competition Tour, December 10th at 6 p.m. at the Reedsville High School Auditorium. Brace yourselves for a spectacle of talent, passion, and spirit that is about to take center stage. A show that's set to redefine the meaning of talent, musical tribute to Patti LaBelle and Luther Vandross. Special recognition and award to the legacy of Reedsville football. Special guest, the Jubilant Gospel Singers. And the cast that makes it all happen, the Sandman, the band, the model Deja, Mark Lee TV show host, and Captain Newborn senior producer. Imagine a stage where dreams meet reality, where passion meets performance, and where talent meets opportunity. The Road to New York National Talent Competition Tour to the Apollo. Come out, support and applaud those who dare to dream, encourage the performers who step out of their comfort zones, who embrace their passions, who aren't afraid to show the world what they've got. That's what the Road to New York is all about. The stage is set, the performers are ready, and the countdown has begun. The Road to New York is here. Sunday.
What has time told you about the power of friendship in your life? Hi, I'm Trevi A. McDonald, author of the novel Time Will Tell, a coming-of-age story about the power of friendship in the lives of 3 Chicago women who are attending their 10-year high school reunion, and the sequel, Roundabout Midnight, a story about resolving issues, healing hurts, and celebrating Black love. You can find out more about my books at my website, www.drtrevi.com. Thank you.
Are just so impressed with them. Like I said, we've been with them for years. I will recommend and refer anyone to them. We stand by A+ academics. They're the best.
A+ tutorial really did help me with all my grades. They all went up when I came to this place. And I would say I recommend this school to everyone.
So it's a really good environment to be in, especially for me because it makes me look up to my parents.
If you have students that need academic help, A+ Academics is the place to be. A+ Academics, what a great place to go for academics.
It's just a really great place to learn.